Good morning. Call to order. This meeting of the Louisiana Tax Commission is hereby called to order. This meeting is being held at the offices of the Louisiana Tax Commission at 1051 North 3rd Street, Suite 225, Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The date is Wednesday, April the 8th, 2026, and the time is 9 o'clock. We'll go with the roll call.
Chairman Rousseau, Commissioner Leone,
Here.
Commissioner Romick,
Here.
Commissioner Guidry,
Here.
Commissioner Frazier,
Here.
Board President Quorum, and I'm sorry, Acting Chairman Romick.
Thank you. Is there any old business to be brought before the commission this morning? Thank you. We'll move on to the approval of minutes.
Mr. Chair, I call approval of minutes from 3/25/2026.
There's a motion. Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. We'll consider change orders. We're going to retract that motion. It's the approval of the March 11th minutes, not the 25th. Okay, so the approval of the minutes from March 11th, 2026. Again, is there a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chair, I call for motion to approve the minutes from March 2026.
Any objection to that? Let the record show that the minutes of March 11th have been approved.
Very good.
Thank you. Now we'll move forward to the change orders.
Chandrika Banks on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 2,383 change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve 2,355, place 26 in pending status, and deny 2. Staff requests approval of these change orders.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the 2,355 change orders and place 26 in pending status and deny 2 for reasons given by staff.
Thank you, Commissioner Guidry. Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, motion carries.
Chandrika Banks on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 33 prior pending change orders. Staff has reviewed those change orders and requests to approve all 33. Staff requests approval of the prior pending change orders.
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve all 33 change orders for reasons that's given by staff.
Thank you. Again, motion. Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving forward, we have a consideration of a decision in the following matters. My apologies. Staying within the items to be considered, we have tax sale cancellations.
Chandrika Banks on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Today we have a total of 3 tax sale cancellations, 2 in EBR Parish and 1 in Washington Parish, all due to being erroneously sold. Staff requests approval of 3 tax sale cancellations.
Mr. Chair, I move to approve the 3 tax sale cancellations.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. Any objection to that motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. Now I believe we're in order for the consideration of a decision in the matter of the appeal of East Texas Gathering versus Assessor Dr. Regina Webb in the Caddo Parish Board of Review, docket number 24-22017-001.
Mr. Chair, I move to set the value for assessment number 000828974807000 to be $6,231,949.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. Any objection to that motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. I think we're moving on to the consideration of the approval of the Orleans Parish Supplemental Roll for the current year 2025, fourth quarter, tax years 2022 through 2025.
Good morning, Tanisha Malvo on behalf of the Louisiana Tax Commission. Staff has received the supplemental tax rolls for calendar year 2025, fourth quarter for tax years 2022 through 2025 for Orleans Parish. We have received the supplemental electronic rolls, the TC 33 abstracts, the millage reports. We do not require the quietus nor the Louisiana Legislative Auditor's approval letter because those items were provided at the time of the tax roll was approved. Please note that the LTC values and the public service and bank and insurance values did not change. The assessor has provided an affidavits attesting that the information contained in the supplemental tax rolls are correct and that all affected taxpayers were timely notified. The reasons for these supplemental rolls are as follows. For real property, it's either council and or adjusted homestead exemption and or age freeze due to a deceased owner being removed. Owners not residing at the property or an error on the assessment. For personal property, the reason being was that the business was omitted from the roll and or revised tax assessments were entered. Staff requests approval of the Orleans Parish supplemental tax rolls for 2025 calendar year fourth quarter for tax years 2022 through 25.
Thank you, Ms. Malveaux. Is there a motion as requested by Ms. Malveaux? Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. Is there any objection to that motion? The motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll move on to appeals.
Good morning. If you'll be testifying in any of the appeal hearings this morning, I'll have you stand at your chair and I'll administer an oath to you. I'll have you affirm the oath and state your name for the record. So for those of you who are testifying in the room, please stand up. Appraisers, I'll get to you next. If you'll go ahead and unmute and turn your cameras on. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Russell Almaraz, I do.
Thank you.
David Mejia, I do.
Thank you.
Gregory Miller, I do.
Thank you. Thank you. Appraisers, same exercise. Please raise your right hands. Do you swear or affirm the testimony you're about to give is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God? Mike?
Mike Cater, I do.
Reed?
Reed Huval, I do.
And Josh?
Joshua Laverne, I do.
Great. Very good, Mr. Acting Chairman. If we have any taxpayers who show up, we'll take care of them when they arrive.
Thank you, Mr. Hoffman. We'll go in order, alpha order per the agenda, starting with letter A, which is the appeal of Assessor Errol Williams versus Ellis Tarleton in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522171031. Start with you, Mr. Almaraz.
Good morning, Commissioners. Russell Almaraz for the Orleans Parish Assessor's Office. So this property is a single-family property located in the South Carrollton neighborhood. We initially valued the property at $330,200. It was reduced by the Board of Review to $200,000. We subsequently appealed it because we disagreed with the Board of Review's value, performed a fee simple appraisal of the property. For this appeal, the fee simple appraisal came in at $352,000. The tax commission did an appraisal of the property. It came out at $345,000. So basically, all of the both appraisals are within $15,000 or 2% of each other. The taxpayer didn't provide documentation to the Board of Review or the Orleans Parish Assessor's Office to warrant a reduction. This property was purchased as a bank foreclosure. We're just asking the commission to affirm our original value of $330,000, which we think is fair.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Just to be clear, is it $330,200 or $330,000?
My apologies. It's $330,200, $65,700 for land, $264,500 for the building, for a total fair market value of $330,200.
Thank you. We'll hear from Mr. Laverne.
Good morning, Joshua Laverne, LTC appraiser. I inspected and appraised the property located at 4421 Bodan Street utilizing the sales comparison approach. The subject property was determined to be in average condition from an exterior inspection only. This approach produced a value of $345,000 with $65,700 attributed to the land and $279,300 to the improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Laverne. For our commissioners, are there any questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the parish assessor's offer at a total of $330,200, with land being $65,700 for improvements at $264,500.
Motion has been made. Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, the motion carries. We'll move on to item B, the appeal of Matthew S. Rosendahl versus Assessor Errol Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 252217140. Mr. Alvarez.
Good morning, Commissioners. This property was valued at $404,600 for our original valuation. The Board of Review affirmed that value. We performed a fee simple appraisal, which came in higher at $472, and I believe the tax commission's appraisal is right in line with our value at $490,000. However, we're just asking the commission to affirm the original valuation of $404,600. That's land at $59,100, building at $345,500, for a total fair market value of $404,600. It's still within the ballpark of both the appraisals.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Uval?
Reed Duval, Louisiana Tax Commission. I did an appraisal of 821 Felicity Street in New Orleans. Came up with a total value of $490,000. Undisputed land value is $59,100, and the improvement value is $430,900.
Thank you, Mr. Uval. That's your presentation complete?
Yes.
Thank you. There's no taxpayer present. Commissioners, any questions? Hearing none, I'll ask for a motion.
Mr. Chair, I'll make a motion to Orleans Parish assessment. That's $59,100 for the land, $345,500 for the improvement, for a total value of $404,600.
Thank you, Commissioner Frazier. Any objection to that motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Moving on to item C, appeal of Matthew S. Rosendahl versus Assessor Errol G. Williams and the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522176-017. Mr. Alvarez?
So this property at 3942 Laurel Street was originally valued by our office at $776,100, which was affirmed by the Board of Review. Pull up my notes. The LTC appraisal supports our mass appraisal value. There was no document provided to the Board of Review or the Assessor's Office to warrant a reduction. Subsequent review of the property shows that the property has a healthy home certificate with the City of New Orleans, as it's able to be rented out to property for renters. And the only slight difference between the appraisal from the commission and the appraisal of or the valuation that we had, I think, is a condition issue. They have it as average, but everything supports each other as far as their value and our value. We don't have an issue with that. Our ask is to uphold the original valuation at $776,100, the land at $262,500, the improvement at $513,600 for a total fair market value of $776,100.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Laverne?
Good morning. Once again, Joshua Laverne, LTC appraiser. I appraised the property located at 3942 Laurel Street, utilizing both the sales and income approaches. The subject property is a fourplex in average condition. The approaches produce values of $780,000 for the sales approach and $790,000 for the income approach, with $262,500 attributed to the land, and most weight was given to the sales approach for $780,000.
Thank you, Mr. Laverne. Again, Commissioners, any questions?
No, Mr. Chair, call for motion to agree with the city's value of $776,100, which land is $262,500, Building at $513,600, total value of $776,100.
Thank you, Mr. Leone. Again, the taxpayer is not present, so we'll call, motion's been made. Is there any objection to the motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Let the record show that agenda item D, the appeal of Assessor Earl G. Williams versus 1509 Carondelet, docket 2522174012, is continued, as is item E, the appeal of Assessor Earl Williams versus SMS Development and the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket 2522174013. That'll move us to item F, the appeal of Innovative Products and Design versus Errol G. Williams and the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522174016.
Good morning, Commissioners. This one is a kind of a strange one. So the property was a really poor condition fourplex. They applied for demolition permit in February 2025, demolition permit 25-03914-DEMO. There's a certificate of completion in October of 25, showing that the property had been torn down by the end of the year of 25, calendar year 2025. It's the assessor's policy has always been that as we prepay at the beginning of the year, we use our open roll period as our effective lien date. So if we put a placeholder value or a nominal value on the building of $23,000. The exact value is $23,600. We have reduced the value to zero for 2027. And that's kind of where our office is. We recognize that it has been torn down.
So, Mr. Alvarez, your total ask is,
The 158,400. And I
Okay.
think that's the only substantial deviation between our appraisal and staff's appraisal is that when he reviewed the property, there was no building. So he valued it as vacant land. And that's really the only difference between our two appraisals.
Mr. Chairman, I have a question for Mr. Russell. So, Mr. Russell, there isn't a building standing on that property, or is there?
There is
I'm a
no
little bit-
building on the property
Okay.
today. There was no building when the staff appraiser reviewed it, and it was torn down by the end of the year of calendar year 2025.
So that's the appraised value for just land itself?
No, sir, the 158 is, it's 134.8 for the land, and then 23.6 for the building is where we have it.
Okay.
that was the value of the building at the, in the August period?
Yes, sir.
The building was there at that point. It just wasn't there at the end of the year.
So, yeah, full disclosure, I don't know exactly when it was torn down. I have a date it was taken out and a date it was officially completed. I don't know exactly when it was torn down, if that makes sense.
Just one thing, but as of 1/1/26,
It
for
was
tax year
gone.
26, statutorily, it was done.
Yes,
It was
it
gone.
was
Okay.
done.
All right. Thank you.
Mr. Yuval,
Reed Huval, Tax Commission Appraiser. I actually talked with the owner of the property, and they had told me that it was torn down in August of 2025. So I don't know if that helps with getting that date out there for anything, but that's what they had told me. So this property, when I went and inspected, there was no building on the property, no improvement. You can look at my subject photo in the report that I did, and it shows that there's no building there. They had already tore it down. So it's basically the value of the land from the point of which I inspected it.
thank you, Mr. Yuval. Taxpayer is not present. So any further questions?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we accept the parish assessor's appraisal at a total of 158,400, with land being at 1,034,800 and improvements for 23,600, for a total of 1,058,400.
Just
Any
for-
discussion?
Just for discussion on this, statutorily for tax year 2026, the lien date would be 1/1/26. So just by the testimony of the parish and the LTC, it was gone as of that date. So with that being said, I think we should just go with the LTC value of on the land itself because of the building not being there as of 1/1/26, and that is statutorily the lien date for the tax year in question.
So there's been a motion, there's been discussion. Commissioner Guidry. Thank you, Commissioner Guidry. So the motion now is for 134,800 for land only. Is there any objection to that motion? Motion carries. Item G is the appeal of Assessor Errol G. Williams versus Lawrence Andrew Collins in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522176-013. Mr. Alvarez?
So this property was initially valued at $920,000 by our office. The taxpayer requested $600,000 because they purchased it for $600,000 as a succession sale, which is not an arm's length transaction. The Board of Review had reduced them to $625,000. So we filed an appeal because we believe that the $625,000 is low. The tax commission did an appraisal that came in at $710,000, I believe it was. We did a fee simple appraisal, came in at $738,000. The taxpayer did not provide in their documentation when they submitted to us the appraisal that was done by the bank for the sale. However, I was able to discover the appraisal that was done by the bank for the sale, and that appraisal was $700,000. The MLS listing, MLS number 248860, the list price is $745,000, and it says the property is priced below recent appraisal, succession property, owner to do no repairs. So when we looked at that appraisal, it was actually at $700,000. The sales comparison was $700,000. The cost was $756,000. All of the appraisals, whether it's the one provided by the taxpayer for their bank, the tax commission, or our own fee simple appraisal, are all in that $700,000 to $730,000 range. So we were asking let me pull this up. We're asking the commission to go with our fee simple appraisal of $324,000 for the land, $414,000 for the building, for a total fair market value of $738,000.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. So just to reiterate, land at $324,000, the improvements at $414,000 for a total value of $738,000.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Laverne?
Once again, Joshua Laverne, LTC appraiser. I appraised the property located at 350 Pine, utilizing the sales comparison approach. Subject property was determined to be in poor condition due to the phase of construction at the time of my inspection. The approach produced a value of $700,000, with $324,000 attributed to the land and $376,000 to the improvement.
Thank you, Mr. Laverne. Taxpayer is not present. Any questions from the commission? Hearing none, do I ever hear a motion?
Mr. Chair, I call for a motion to set this value of this property at $700,000, which is $324,000 land, improvement $376,000, total of $700,000.
Thank you, Commissioner Leone. Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Item H is the appeal of Marengo Investments versus Assessor Errol G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522176-014. Mr. Alvarez.
Morning, Commissioners. I am stalling for time so I can pull my forms up. So the property was valued at $745,000. That was a settlement between the taxpayer and our office at the Board Review last year. It was appealed by the taxpayer this year. The Board Review affirmed that value. The tax commission staff appraisal came in at 748,000. So they're all kind of what and what with each other. We did a fee simple approach that actually came out a lot higher than that, but we're just asking the commission to affirm the agreed upon value between the taxpayer and ourselves from last year. Yes, sir. 317,600 for the land, 427,400 for the building, for a total fair market value of 745.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Mr. Cater?
Mike Cater, LTC appraiser, did a valuation of the subject property at 501 Pendleton Street. The property was an 8-unit, 2-story apartment building considered to be in average condition. I completed a land grid which supported the assessor's value on land at 317,600. I did a sales approach would indicate the value at 800,000. I did a income approach which came in at 748,000. I relied upon the income approach at 748,000 with the 317,600 for land and 430,400 for improvements.
Thank you, Mr. Cater. Taxpayer is not present. Any questions before we go to a motion? Hearing none, may I have a motion?
Mr. Chairman, I move that we approve the parish assessor's appraisal at 745,000, with land being at 317,600 for improvements in buildings is at 427,400 for a grand total of 7,445,000.
Thank you, Commissioner Guidry. Total value of 745,000. Motion's been made. Any objection to that motion? Hearing none, motion carries. Item I is the appeal of Marengo Investments versus Assessor Errol G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522176-016.
Good morning, Commissioners. This property in Louisiana was originally valued at 580,000. That was affirmed by the Board of Review. The tax commission is slightly lower than that, but within the actual range. We did a fee simple appraisal for the property. That fee simple appraisal came out a little bit lower than our initial value. So in good faith, we offered to settle with the taxpayer at that reduced value of 96,000 land, 461,000 for the building, for a total fair market value of $557,000. And that is what our prayer was. We just were not able to get confirmation from the taxpayer.
Thank you, Mr. Alvarez. Just to reiterate, 96,000 for the land, 461,000 for improvements, for a total value of 557,000 is your prayer.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Mr. Laverne?
Joshua Laverne, LTC appraiser. I appraised the property at 1912 Louisiana Avenue utilizing sales and income approaches. The subject property is a 4-plex in very good condition. Approaches produce values of $545,000 for sales and $552,720 for income, with $96,000 attributed to the land, and most weight was given to the sales approach of $545,000.
Thank you, Mr. Laverne. Taxpayer is not present. Again, any questions? May I have a motion?
Mr. Chair, I have a motion to accept the city's offer of 557,000 total, which is 96,000 of land, 461,000 improvements, total of 557,000.
There's a motion. Is there any objection to that motion? Hearing none, motion is carried. Let the record show item J, the appeal of William B. Coleman versus Assessor Errol G. Williams in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522176-020 is continued. And item K, the appeal of Assessor Errol G. Williams versus David S. Clements in the Orleans Parish Board of Review, docket number 2522177-026 has been withdrawn. Madam Secretary, are there any other matters that may come before the Commission? Thank you. Hearing none, are we ready for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, I call for a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Commissioner Leone. I'm sure there's no objection. Let the record show that this meeting has concluded at 9:29 a.m. on Wednesday, April the 8th.